I love Pine Forge because it's just a very strong school and it has a very good spirit.
What I will miss most about Pine Forge is the staff members, the teachers, and all the memories I've made with my friends.
I will always remember Pine Forge because it has been a big part of my life.
We are marching to the Pine Forge School, the Pine Forge School, the Pine Forge School. We are marching to the Pine Forge School, the Pine Forge School, hurrah!
I was the elementary principal for Earl and Pine Forge schools, the dual responsibility from 1985 to 1995. Well, it was a really neat experience. It was near the end of my career, but it's such a neat school out in the country, so you weren't bothered by a lot of the stuff you get when you get in town. And a real neat faculty to work with, and the kids were really great to work with in this community, and it was a community school. Pine Forge Elementary School was constructed in 1932 as part of the Douglas Township School District. And then in 1953, Douglas Township School District, along with 10 other school districts, merged with the borough of Boyertown to form the Boyertown Area School District. In 1957, the school received its first addition and renovation. The next major addition came during my time as principal of the building in 1988. It added a new library and 7 classrooms, and once again, completely renovated the entire building. It was really a nice addition. And the really nice thing about it was we were able to keep the kids from the community that live around the school here instead of having to go in town to one of the other schools.
I started school here in 1933. There are 4 classrooms here. There was no cafeteria, no office, and we ate lunch in the classroom. You brought your lunch and you ate it in the classroom. We had electricity, running water. We had the boys' restroom and the girls' restroom. Oh, I remember Miss Dengler. She had a old-type kerosene stove sitting in the hall down by her room, by her door, and sometimes she would make hot dogs and cocoa.
When I was a student here back in 1961 through 1967, my name was Nancy Bidding. I went here 1st grade through 6th grade. There was no kindergarten at the time. I think that our cafeteria lady, the lady who was in charge of making the meals, her name was Mrs. Hedenberg, and she used to make the best meals. I mean, she could cook. And at holiday time, every year, she would make about 13 or 14 different kinds of pies. And all of the administrators would come here for Thanksgiving and for Christmas dinner. And it was a big deal because they could have gone anywhere and they came to Pine Forge every year.
I started the kindergarten here at Pine Forge in 1961, and I taught here kindergarten, 1st grade for a little, and came back to kindergarten and retired from Pine Forge Kindergarten in 2001. We did meet here at school. Well, Grant was already working here, and then I started, like I said, started the kindergarten. And that's how we met, actually, because sometimes you need to call the custodian as a teacher. And we just became very good friends, and things blossomed from there.
As a custodian, it wasn't, when I originally worked there, it wasn't sweeping the floors. We painted the building, we painted the roofs, we painted the school buses. We did all the maintenance that we could, and they sort of were reluctant to bring in the electrician or the plumber. If it's something you could do, at that time you would do it.
I have wonderful memories of the children that I worked with that were in my classroom. It was a great time in my life.
I found out that there was an opening here at my home school, so I said I would love to come back to Pine Forge, and thankfully I got the position, and I was here for 29 years until I retired back in 2014. I think Pine Forge is really special because it's such a small school. Everybody knows everyone. The kids, being that there were only 2 classes of each grade, ultimately got mixed up with every student in the grade at some point as they traveled through. It's just a tight-knit group of people, very tight-knit group of people.
My name is Bill Cherkasky. I was a teacher at Pine Forge Elementary from 1982 until 2006 when I retired. During that time, I served as an interim principal twice, and then I was an interim principal a year after I retired for a couple months, and then the following year I was a substitute teacher in here for a couple of months. So altogether I was here 24 plus years. I just remember things I used to do with my class. I mean, there was a program for a while called Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful, and I used to take my kids out because we did a unit on recycling here because I thought recycling was very important. They would close off the Glendale Drive and we would walk along the road and pick up trash and everything. And the kids were always amazed at what they would find that people threw out, and so it made them more aware. One year, or a couple years, we arranged to have raised bed gardens built outside the classroom, and I had kids plant gardens, and then we had some of the vegetables donated to the cafeteria, and they used them for something for our students for their lunchtime.
We had the DARE program. Todd Heckman taught the DARE program to 6th graders. I used to go out with a car and pick up the 6th graders from the academy and bring them over here so they could be part of the DARE program. So we had a lot of cooperation going on between the academy and, because we're virtually on the corner of their property, and anything behind the school is all part of the Pine Forge Academy.
The one year I was going to be interim principal, the first day I walked into school, our custodian, Jeff Lucarelli, said, "I got to show you something." And we came up to the classrooms, including mine, and he showed me that there was mold in the classrooms and growing up the cabinets. And all of a sudden our school had to be taken care of because of all the mold. It had to be decontaminated, so we were forced to move the whole school out of Pine Forge, relocated to St. Columcille's for a month while they took all the carpeting out and cleaned it, and then we moved back in at the end of the month, which was a remarkable situation considering that you had to move a whole school, including specials and everything. The teachers had 30 minutes to come into their classroom with a mask on to try to find what they thought they would need to teach for the next month. And we pulled it off, but that's because Pine Forge was a special school. It was a small school and it was a family school.
My name's Jeff Lucarelli, the head custodian at Pine Forge Elementary. I've been here almost 30 years and I have almost 40 years with the Boyertown School District. There's nothing that anybody in the building won't go that extra mile to do. Our PTA did a playground and we all got involved in that. We all had jobs that we did to help install it. We got it all done over a weekend because they had like a grand opening, you can say, so the kids could use it that Monday.
So my name is Taylor Hicks and I went here from kindergarten. I started in 2000 and then I went all the way until 6th grade at the time. We went up to 6th grade in the elementary buildings. And then I was a 1st grade teacher last year for the 2018-2019 school year. And this year I am part-time Pine Forge, part-time Earl. So I was here in the afternoons every day as an intervention teacher I was a first grader in this exact room, and then I had the opportunity last year to be a first grade teacher in this room. So nothing has changed. It's the same sink, it's the same windowsills. The only thing is the floor that has changed because it was carpet when I was a first grader, but other than that, everything else is the exact same. I actually stepped into the role of an educator, and the building, you walk in, and for me it just felt the same. The spirit was the same. The overall vibe was just always happy and positive and full of love. And to be a part of the staff, although most of the staff members have left and either retired or gone to other places in the district, the staff felt the same as the staff that was here when I was a student. It's an amazing feeling to be able to see all the kids and have connections with them and know that this building and being in this tiny little school in the middle of the woods is so special. So I shared that with them, and I shared my stories, and it was just such a blessing for me. And I loved that I had my first classroom in my teaching career in this room, in this building. So it was very special.
My name is Shanna Bigham, and I have been teaching at Pine Forge since 2005. I was hired as a 5th grade teacher, so I taught 5th grade for 3 years, and then I moved to 2nd grade. One of the things that we started, I think it was my 2nd year teaching, we started talent shows, and the students would do a talent show each year. And after the first couple, then the teachers decided to get in on this act, and we would do a teacher act every year. And we did some awesome, amazing acts that were so much fun, and it kind of became part of the culture of the school. It was glow in the dark. I remember that was one of the favorites. It was a glow in the dark one where we all wore black and then had glow sticks to us so that we looked like stick men. Another time we did Thriller. We were zombies. That was a little too scary for some of the kids, but it was still a lot of fun and a great memory.
The Pine Forge Fun Fair every year. It was at the end of the school year. And it was honestly, as a kid, I thought of it as like the best, most grand thing that could happen, because they had the cafeteria set up with prizes that were actually that of like an arcade. And every classroom had different games you could play to win tickets. The outside had the dunk tank, there was karaoke going on, there was food everywhere that you could eat. So definitely the fun fair. If you ask any person that's been through here, especially in the 2000s when I was here, that was honestly super, super fun.
When I first started teaching, it was a completely different group of people who we have now. Many of the teachers have since retired, and they were lovely, lovely people to work with. And I really, truly believe that it's because of them and whoever was before them that set the tone for what Pine Forge is. They just had such a heart and just cared so much about the school and the community, and it was really a pleasure to work with all of them.
The Adamskis, I was a teacher for all 4 children who were lost in that fire at one point or another, and the youngest one, John, was in my class at that time. He was in the kindergarten here. Somebody called me and said, before I left from home, and said there's a fire there, just so you're aware when you come to school this morning. And so it was a very sad thing.
I mean, it was a devastating loss to the school because, to have it happen so close and to have so many students at the same time, perishing. I was one of the people that helped the idea of having the memorial out front there behind what was the memorial for the service members in front of the school there that has their names on the plaque.
So Preston Dre was a student in my class in 2nd grade. He was very kind and very, very compassionate. He had a big heart. We did a passion project in 2nd grade. I had the students where they chose a topic of their own that they were interested in, something that meant a lot to them. I had different kids who did all different types of projects, but Preston chose to do one where he wanted to help the poor. That was what his project was going to be about. I want to help the poor. And so we kind of had to talk to him about, because that's such a broad topic, and so we kind of narrowed it down a little bit, how he could help the poor. And so he partnered with the Boyertown Multi-Service and got a list of different items that they needed in their pantry, in their food pantry. And so he created little flyers. He spoke to the class and asked for donations, and had posters and things, and had a box set up in our classroom. And he collected, I think, about 45 different items that he was able to then take to the Boyertown Multi-Service with his mom, and he gave this box of goods to the multi-service, which of course was very grateful for them. So it just shows how he had such a huge heart and really kind and compassionate for other people. That project kind of has developed into this huge thing with Preston's Pantry. Boyertown Multi-Service has, and some other people have made Preston's Pantry, where there's a whole food pantry that's dedicated to Preston and Preston's mom, Pamela, and baby Evelyn, and they store a bunch of food, and there's the whole community, and people from other communities are coming together and giving thousands and thousands and thousands of donations that all stemmed from a little boy who wanted to help poor people.
I don't know if it's the property or the building, or when I think that it attracts good. Every educator that's been here and the kids that have gone through the doors and have gone through and experienced it, the feeling of just feeling like you're cared for and you're taken care of, you're loved, and that you're advocated for. I think it's because it's small, and I think it's because, like I said, it just attracts a lot of love and a lot of good.
It was like a family. Everybody, treated everybody as an equal, and nobody was trying to be superior, or nobody, if you needed something, you could ask somebody, and they said if they'd have it, they would give it to you. And vice versa. If you had something and somebody needed, you would be, more than willing to share it with other people in the school.
We were a very close-knit staff and got along very well with each other, and worked together, and I guess that's why I really liked it here.
We would actually get together, have Christmas parties. We did a lot of things together. We spent time at the beaches together during summers. We had a very tight group of teachers.
Everybody in Pine Forge just truly loves and cares for one another, and we all just want what's best for everybody and want everybody to succeed and be successful. We share ideas, we collaborate well, we have so much fun together, and it's really an awesome, awesome place to be, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to work here all these years.
Making the decision to retire was a tough decision, because I was in my 50s when I retired, but it was really very impressionable the way the faculty and the community treated me at that retirement time. This bench being one of the things that they dedicated to the 10 years of service that I had here at Pine Forge, and the assembly with the kids and up until the last day. It was kind of sad leaving, not knowing I would be coming back into the building again and all I left behind.
Students at this school, when they would leave Pine Forge to go to junior high or senior high, every so often you would have them, one would stop back in your classroom to see how you were doing, and I have a college, kids from college that would come back. I mean, they just felt that there was something special about Pine Forge. I don't know about the other schools that happened, but I know in Pine Forge, kids always came back to see the school and to talk to their teachers.
There was probably 20 students out front that's graduating this year, and I was parking, and the parents came around and said, "Mr. Lucarelli, we want you to come out front." And they all wanted to take pictures with me, and that was something really special, that they're graduating. They still remember me from when they were here in elementary, and they're graduating.
It's a very caring community because it is so small. And because of that, I think kids really, they enjoyed coming here. They enjoyed coming to school. They enjoyed being in this type of an environment where they knew everyone. And just, I feel sad. I feel sad that it's all coming to an end.
I taught in a larger school, and I much preferred the smaller school. And our children went here, so it's home. Sad to see it go.
I was here when they moved the first shovelful of dirt, so it's sort of part of me, I think.
This is all I've known, and I know, I mean, I have a lot of memories, but it's holding on to those memories is it's just such a sad thing, the fact that it's such an amazing school and that it's gone, all of that magic. It's not really gone because we're bringing it with us wherever we go, but just the fact that no other student's going to get to experience the magic of Pine Forge. No other teacher is going to get to experience the magic of Pine Forge. Families aren't going to get to experience it. It really is truly, it's just so sad that it's done.
I think that for all the past staff and the present staff, the people that I've gotten close with that have been mentors to me during my 2 years teaching here, and all the students that are currently enrolled here that unfortunately do not get to come back, I just hope that they carry those memories with them in their hearts and know that they were a part of something really great. We have the saying, Pine Forge Strong, and we also say that we're small, but we're really mighty. So I just hope that the community really understands that us closing it's a lot deeper than people realize, because it's a family and it's a really strong knit community.
We got names multiplying of a school built long ago. Pine Forge power, there's no denying. It's electrifying. So never forget all your time spent here. Pine Forge is a part of you. So never forget. You need to understand. To our hearts we must be true. Always keep us close to you. We're the school we love. You are the school we love. Pine Forge strong. It's the school we love. You are the school we love. Pine Forge strong. It's the school we love. You are the school we love. Pine Forge strong. One we need. Oh yes indeed. Pine Forge has a strong connection. Lifelong friends, we will stay. We may go in new directions, but not far away. Don't ever forget how much you mean to us. We are one big family. Don't ever forget that we're Pine Forge strong, and forever unified. Are you sure? Yes, we're sure down deep inside. You're a school